ドジャースにとって厳しい試合が続いているこの遠征で、今日はナショナルズとの3連戦の第2戦でしたが、先発のジャスティン・ロブレスキーが打ち込まれたこともあり8対2で大敗となってしましました。大谷翔平選手も今日は5打数1安打で、最終打席にライト前へヒットを放ち何とか連続出塁試合数を伸ばしましたが、チームに勢いを与える活躍はできなかったようです。試合後の現地放送の様子を翻訳してお届けいたします。
Hello, welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. I'm John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr., Adrian Gonzalez. It is officially a losing streak now for the Dodgers. They dropped their third in a row. They fall to 1-4 on this first road trip of the season. The first three losses for this team, really close games. This one was over early, Jerry. Justin Robleski just didn't have it. Tagged for 8 runs in the first 4 innings, and James Wood took him deep a couple times.
Yeah, obviously James Wood is going to be an incredible player for the Nationals. Very talented kid. But listen, they came out of the gate swinging the bats. Really nothing we could do about it. Early lead, 5-0 before we can even wake up, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, Robleski didn't have his best stuff. His command wasn't there. He left a lot of pitches over the plate. We talked about in the pregame. He had to have that fastball command, and that fastball command was not there. His breaking pitches were not as sharp as they had been in the past. And so when you don't have your fastball and your breaking pitches aren't sharp, these national players are going to jump all over them, and especially James Wood. He jumped all over those pitches with those 2 home runs.
It has to be disappointing for Justin Robleski. He had such a good spring for the Dodgers. Then his first start in AAA Oklahoma City, 5 2/3 scoreless, Adrian. And then tonight, like you mentioned, just wasn't able to command the baseball, hit his spots in this one.
Yeah, it just comes down to command. You look at the, pitch right there. They definitely didn't want it right down the middle. When you're throwing 92-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle, it's going to get hit. And you look at the pitches. The pitches are not where the catcher, where Austin Barnes has his glove. So his command is just off. You can just tell by the location. Breaking pitch right there, ends up right down the middle again. So it really comes down to his command. He's a pitcher that we talked about. He's got good stuff, but when you don't have overpowering stuff, you cannot leave pitches over the plate. And he continued to do that today, and he continued to pay for it.
When we have a scouting report, and listen, Robo knows this, everybody knows this, but you have to be able to execute that scouting report. So many times we saw the glove where Austin Barnes wanted to pitch, ball middle of the plate. Wanted it down and in, ball middle of the plate and up. Again, you want contact, but you're chasing soft contact. When it's up, middle of the zone, especially these couple of hitters that they have in that Nationals lineup, they will barrel you up. And it happened tonight. You can't make mistakes up in the zone.
And it seemed like mistakes was really the story of this game. It's really been the story of this road trip, Jerry, for the Dodgers. More walks by the pitchers. Justin Robleski had the 3 consecutive walks that brought in the run, and we saw some shaky things on the base pass and also in the field.
Yeah, listen, we talk about it every single day, really the last 4 or 5 days. You got to play clean baseball. Base running, obviously you need to clean it up. The free passes, that can't happen. I know we kind of touched on it. We have wipeout stuff, okay? Most of our starters do, but you're only playing with fire when you give up free passes. So the free passes were an issue again today. And listen, when you give a team like the Nationals that really have nothing to lose, you give them confidence, they're going to feed off that confidence.
Yeah, they're totally going to feed off that confidence. And the other thing that we really did a really poor job today is hitting with runners in scoring position. Our 2 runs came on solo home runs, and we had some opportunities out there, and we continued to not come through, not do the things, put the ball in play, strike out in the key moments. We had an inning where we started the inning with base on ball, first and second, no outs, and we end up not even getting the runners to third base. So those are little things that are going to continue to pile on. And when you don't score those runs, the Nationals continue to score runs, and it just never gave them a chance.
We touched on the pregame show. There's going to be times where you're going to have a lull where it's just not going to be there collectively, okay? This Dodger team has played a lot of baseball games the last couple years. A lot of emotion. Started out in Tokyo, a lot of emotion at home. And, go on the road on the East Coast, lose a tough series in Philadelphia. We kind of talked about coming to D.C. This could be a trap series. And so far, really, it has, because we already lost the series. So, listen, Dodger team, they understand what they need to do right now. It's just not happening.
All right, let's get to the highlights. The middle game of a 3-game series at Nationals Park in D.C. on a really cold evening. Justin Robleski, first big league start of the season, but he gives up a leadoff single to Alex Call.
It's a good piece of hitting from Calder, staying inside of baseball, fastball inside, and just getting on base.
Then, Jerry, it's James Wood coming up there. You said that 92-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle, it's going to get hurt a lot of times.
Yeah, they wanted it down and away there. Obviously, center cut, and Wood has tremendous power to all fields, showing it off there.
So just like that, 2 batters in to the bottom of the first. It's 2-0 Nationals. Robleski facing Nathaniel Lowe. It's called strike 3.
That's a good pitch.
That's a good pitch. We're both going to say the same thing there. You can tell when he executes a pitch down in the zone, he gets the out he needs.
Adrian, this is what you're talking about. Top of the second, back-to-back walks to start the inning, and then Max Muncy chases ball 4.
3-2 count right there. Fastball up out of the zone would have been ball 4. It ends up being a strikeout.
Andy Pages grounds one to first. They get the force at second, first and third for Austin Barnes. Grounds out to Luis Garcia Jr.
Lord just kind of looking at him. He looks like he throws a heavy sinker, late sinker right there. Ate up Pages and Barnes.
Bottom of the second, James Wood. That's ball 4. And that forces in a run after he'd walked 3 in a row. Cabert Ruiz follows with a base hit.
Yeah, you can't walk multiple hitters in a row and then, put yourself in that situation. Ruiz, good piece of hitting, getting the base hit, but those walks to set it all up was no bueno.
It's 5-0 Nationals through the first 2 innings. Top of the third, Shohei Ohtani leading it off. Fouls it off. He seemed kind of grimace and shake out his arm. We were worried about his left shoulder, the surgically repaired shoulder after the swing.
Kind of gets tied up a little bit right there.
Goes down swinging for the second time.
It's a really good pitch, backdoor slider right there.
Bottom of the fourth, they're cornered for Alex Call. Fly ball to Teoscar Hernandez makes the catch, runner scores.
And the aggressiveness right there, taking extra bases. They're tagging up from first, getting in scoring position, but really didn't need to go anywhere after that because this ball's crushed.
James Wood, second homer of the game. He's homered in 3 straight at-bats going back to last night's game. It's 8-0. Top of the fifth, Adrian Andy Pages does get the Dodgers on the board with his first of the year.
Yeah, Jerry, your call of the day right there. Great swing, was able to have a good at-bat there, get a hanging breaking pitch, and did not miss it.
Hopefully this is a good sign because we need production out of Pages. We know he can swing the bat. Need his production down in the lineup.
2 batters later, Shohei grounds it to the right side. Garcia makes a really nice play again.
He is elite there at second base. He's really showed it off this series. Great range of getting a speedy runner.
Tommy Edman on a day that's not 40 degrees and wind blowing in. This is probably out of there.
That was a really good piece of hitting, good swing. Deepest part of the ballpark, just not a little bit, just not enough.
Bottom 6, Ben Casparius facing Jacob Young. Andy Pages able to make the catch. This play by Pages moving over to right field as Teoscar Hernandez was taken out of the game.
And dealing with those lights, too. Those lights there at Nats Park can be troublesome.
After back-to-back hits, Casparius gets low. He strikes out for the 3rd time in this game. Top 7. 1 on, nobody out for Barnes. This is an interesting play. He pops it up, and the ball is dropped.
Yeah, he didn't mean to drop it.
But that's what the umpires gather, and they rule that he dropped it intentionally, and so they're going to actually, even though Pages is tagged out, they're going to give Pages first base.
Well, we caught a break here because he didn't intentionally drop it. He drops it because he takes his eye off the ball. He thinks he has it. Then on exchange, he drops it. We caught a break here.
So if that's the case, Jerry, what should Pages have done?
Well, nothing he could have done. I mean, you're right there. So you can't get doubled off there. You're in no man's land.
He should have been tagging, though. He should not have been off the base.
Hunter Fiducia came into the game as a replacement, goes down swinging.
So if he drops it, does he break?
We've moved on to the highlight, Jerry.
Yeah,
this is Kike, home run.
Well, Kike, his 4th hit of the year, all homers.
All homers.
He's in the production business. Huh? Make sure that every swing that counts for big, but he'll get some hits eventually. I know he will. Guy has a Kike jersey, too.
That would be it. Dodgers fall. 8-2 is your final. They are now 9-4. Lost 3 in a row. Justin Robleski is tagged with a loss, giving up 8 runs in his 5 innings. Andy Pages 2 for 3 His first home run of the year, Kike Hernandez went 1 for 3 with home run number 4. Just one more game on this East Coast road trip before the Dodgers come back home. They'll take on the Cubs this weekend. Friday is Freddie Freeman's bobblehead night. Then our first look at an NL West opponent of the season Monday when the Rockies will be here. Tuesday, April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day throughout all of Major League Baseball. Carl's Jr. moment of the game. Andy Pages got a little mental reset day yesterday and paid off.
It sure did. And, you know, one of the things that, even though he didn't come through in the previous at-bat, staying inside the baseball and a tough sinker in, put him in a great spot for the rest of the game that he ended up getting a couple hits. And this swing right here, staying inside the baseball on this breaking pitch and staying through the ball really well. Great home run right there.
Jerry, it was your called shot of the day, which was a great call, and that means you get to break it down.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate it. You know, listen, it does hurt losing this game, but let's go Access 360 and do something positive. Okay, we want some positivity, and this is a positive at-bat for Andy Pages. Hopefully this gets him going the rest of the year. Fastball up in the zone, ahead in the count 1-0. Looking for something he could drive here 1-0. He's going to get a sinker down and in. You know, that's a pretty nasty sinker. I love that he's aggressive, but he didn't put it in play. Now he's behind in the count on a breaking ball 1-2. He's going to get a pitch up in the zone, fouls it back. Should have put that ball on play, but he stays within the at-bat, gets a hanging slider. This time he does not miss it. Love the bat path. I love that he's able to put this ball, not only play hard, but still able to drive the ball out of the ballpark. Outstanding swing. We're going to look at it one more time. Head down on contact. Barrel release exit velo over 104 miles an hour. The ideal launch angle somewhere around 27 to 28 degrees, especially in that cold weather. There it is right there, 30 degrees. The cold weather sometimes messes up my, projections.
Calculations, yeah.
But great job there by Andy Pages, and I'm hoping that swing gets him going. You see him kind of breathe a sigh of relief.
Yep.
Those type of swings, hopefully have a lot more of those the rest of the way.
Yeah, a couple hits, reach base 3 times tonight. Certainly a good sign for Andy Pages. Right now, let's go back to Nationals Park. Justin Robleski is talking with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Justin, you had an excellent spring. You had an excellent start in AAA to start this year. Just when you look at this outing, is this one that you just kind of turn the page, or what do you think was maybe leading to maybe the lack of results out there today?
Yeah, obviously, anytime you have an outing like this, you got to turn the page. It's a quick game. Just got to roll with it. It's a long season. There's always opportunities to bounce back and do things like that. Just think, for whatever reason today, stuff just didn't feel great. Command wasn't where it should be. It's frustrating to have that kind of result when I've been throwing the ball good. So try to take the positives, and if there are any, and keep it moving.
Last year you did have an experience similar to this. What's the benefit of going through this before at this level, knowing that you can get past it?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, you don't want to have to go through it. But obviously, there's some things I need to clean up. Just need to go back, look through it, talk to some coaches, talk to some people, just kind of really nail down what I need to do to get better and make the jump that I know I can make. So. Yeah, he was just on stuff early. I mean, I think both of them were on the first pitch. So, I mean, it's just he's a great player, good hitter. Obviously, he did his thing tonight.
What were you told about how long this opportunity might last with Blake on the IL?
Yeah, you kind of never, I don't know, you don't really get that kind of info. Just come up here, try to do my job. Whenever they give me the ball, I just continue to try to get better each outing and get through this one. This one's tough. It hurts. It sucks when you're a competitor, and you don't want this to happen. But at the end of the day, it's just about doing your job when you're called upon. And today, I didn't do a good job of that. So just continuing to make the most of whatever opportunities I'm given the rest of the year, and then we keep going.
How cold was it out there? How tough was that?
Really cold. But there's no excuse. They had to play in it too, and I had a tough one, so it's part of it.
Remember, fans, each night if Dodgers pitchers strike out at least 7 batters, everyone will get a free Jumbo Jack the following day at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink, only at LA area restaurants. Unfortunately, second straight night, the Dodgers come up short. 6 strikeouts tonight, but there's another chance coming up tomorrow when Landon Knack starts against the Nationals. And because of the lopsided score, we saw Mookie come out of the game, Teoscar Hernandez came out of the game, Tommy Edman came out of the game. Dave Roberts put Hunter Fiducia, Jerry, at first base. Fiducia had not played first base since he was playing summer ball for the Rockford Rivets.
Well,
2017.
There's not going to be any shade thrown to Rockford. Okay, there's a lot of good people there in Rockford. But yes, an opportunity for Fiducia to get in at bat, get in this ball game as well, playing a little first base. Obviously, we know he is a catcher by trade, but it also helps you a little bit knowing that you can play a variety of positions right there, able to smother it right here and knock it down. Finish the play.
Hey, he blocked it like if it was a slider in the dirt right there, you know. Pick it up and toss it to the pitcher. That's what he does. No, he did a good job. I've seen him practice a lot of first base and pregame and take his ground ball, so he has gotten some work. So, you know, a little bit of experience in practice. I know he has done. So.
Have you ever caught? Have you ever gone from first base to catcher?
As a left-hander, I have never done
No, left-handers are prohibited to catch
Why?
behind the
Why
plate.
is that a thing? Why can't there ever be a left-handed catcher?
It's against the law.
Let's go back to Washington, D.C. Andy Pajes is talking with Kirsten in the media, and we also have a cameo from Donald Duck.
Andy, yesterday Dave said he wanted to give you a day just to mentally, physically reset. How valuable was that? And then going out there and getting the results tonight.
Dave dijo ayer que te quería dar el día para que podías cambiar tu actitud, para poder cambiar lo que estabas haciendo y de enfocarte más en el juego en vez de enfocarte en todo tu personal. ¿Cómo te hizo ese día?
En verdad es un poco como, o sea, agradezco eso porque como que ayer en ese juego pude como dejar de pensar un poco en lo que tenía que hacer. Simplemente disfruté del juego y hoy fue un nuevo día y me sentí mejor.
Yeah, I was very grateful. You know, yesterday I got a chance to just enjoy the game, and then today just being able to kind of feel a little bit better and just be able to get some results was great.
Did you feel a sense of relief after that home run? Because visually it just seemed like a weight was lifted off your shoulders.
Después del home run te sentiste que relajado, más confianza, como que se vio cuando estabas corriendo sobre las bases, que te relajaste un poquito después del home run.
Sí, obviamente el primer jonrón siempre de la temporada es un poco como te quita ese peso de encima, pero definitivamente sí me hizo sentir mejor y con mucha más confianza.
Yeah, the home run definitely took that kind of, it was definitely like a sense of relief, you know, it gave you a lot more confidence, you know, it was just like a big major deep breath of fresh air for sure.
All right, so we were talking about this during the highlight. I know you wanted to continue the conversation, Adrian. Austin Barnes at the plate pops one up. What should Andy Pajes have done here in your mind?
I mean, when you look at this, Andy Pajes should have been standing on first base. He should not have come off the base because that allows for the double play to happen. In my opinion, the umpires ruled it intentional because if you're an infielder or a position player and you drop a ball like that, your instinct should be to go to the lead base and get the force out to second base. And by him thinking, let me go to first base, that makes you think it's intentional because now he's got an opportunity to double off going to get the force out at first and then get the run down at second base. So his action after he dropped it, I don't think he dropped it intentionally, but his actions after he dropped it made it seem like it was an intentional play.
I agree with Gonzo. You really like looking at it. Probably the best thing to do is, if you're Pajes, just to stay at first base. I always thought that play should be at infield fly. I know the rule, first and second, if that happens right there, it's called infield fly. The batter's out. They should have that for the runner on first because he's in no man's land. I'm being corrected right now by
your dad,
Jerry Hairston Sr., who's watching right there, always watching. Yeah, but he said Mike Squires, left-handed first baseman, also caught a few games in 1983 for the Chicago White Sox. So thanks, Dad. Thanks for correcting me.
That's right. See, and good on you for sharing that information because I've always thought it was a little odd that you can't have a left-handed catcher.
Well, they're different, John. The lefties, you know, they're crazy.
Let's go back to D.C. Dave Roberts with Kirsten and the media.
Dave, when you look at a game like this, is this one in which you just kind of have to turn the page?
Yeah, I think that's a good start. Obviously, you know, we got behind early, and you know, I still felt good about it. I thought, you know, I expected, you know, Justin to kind of reset, and in that third inning, second or third inning, we had 2 outs, 2 outs on 2 strikes on Cruz, 0-2, and then, we leave a slider up, and then we get the 3 walks in a row, and Caper gets the 2-out hit and just kind of blew it open. And, I think to his credit, though, Justin, he got through 5 and allowed us to use 2 pitchers to find a way to salvage the series. Offensively, certainly you don't feel good about striking out 15 times in a game, and just kind of up and down the lineup, just the at-bat quality. We're just not having team at-bats. I think sporadically, I thought, Pajes took some good at-bats today, but I think just kind of in totality, just the at-bats collectively haven't been team at-bats, and, the results are showing.
With Justin, he obviously had a fantastic spring, and even his first outing in AAA was a really solid one. What do you think, just with his outing today, wasn't translating for him?
I don't know. I don't think he got in a rhythm tonight. The fastball command wasn't there. I think the slider, the breaking ball just wasn't consistent as far as the sharpness, the teeth to the pitches. When he did get count leverage, he couldn't put him away, and obviously made a couple bad pitches to Wood there.
There's a couple guys who were off to slow starts offensively. Do you think that maybe is part of guys pressing, trying to get some out of a slow start to the season is part of maybe why some non-team at bats and stuff like that tonight?
That might be the case, but with a veteran-laden team, that shouldn't be a cause for panic. Appreciating the fact that there's a lot of season left, and just continue to take good at-bats. And, the first pitch, soft contact outs, expanding of the strike zone, that's just not, what good hitters do. And so I just think that, each night there's a performance or two that's really good, but collectively we just haven't been synced up, and that's why I think the offense has been pretty sporadic. I know you don't want to use weather as an excuse, but there's got to be a correlation between 45 degrees of rain on this trip and losing 4 out of 5, right? Yeah, I have a hard time kind of conceding that one. The cold front came in, the weather came in the Northeast for both clubs. And so the weather's been fine up until when we got out here on this East Coast swing. So they had to deal with the same conditions. And I don't think the weather was a result of, punching 15 times and they didn't. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it was cold, certainly. But, the weather doesn't play any favorites.
Thankfully, the 6-game East Coast roadie comes to a close tomorrow afternoon in Washington, D.C. Landon Knack just called up to make his first start of the year. Got the win in Game 2 in Tokyo, pitching in relief. Jerry, the Nats are going to counter with right-hander Jake Irvin. Been a rough trip. They need to salvage one tomorrow.
Absolutely. Listen, you never want to get swept, whether you're at home or on the road. Got to find some good vibes tomorrow. Win tomorrow and have a pleasant flight back.
Yeah, it's all about the happy flight because we know that they've already lost the series. So it's all about the happy flight, figure out a way to win, get it done, come back home on a good note.
And as both of you guys know, even if you're a great team like the Dodgers, you're going to have probably 2 or 3 stretches throughout a year, Jerry, where it just doesn't go your way, and maybe the Dodgers are going through that this weekend.
The season is so long. The players understand that, but you have to fight through it. You lost a series. Find a way to win tomorrow so you can have that nice flight. But hey, it's the show. It's tough.
Yeah, that happy flight is very, very important.
All right, well, for Kirsten, Jerry, and Adrian, I'm John. Thanks for watching. We will see you again tomorrow. It's a 1 p.m. first pitch here. Pre-game coverage begins at noon on Sportsnet LA. See you then.
やはりこうも敗戦が続いてしまうと、元気印の解説者ジェリー氏の勢いもかなり落ちている感じでしたね。実際、先発のロブレスキー投手も甘い球を中途半端な球速で投げてしまっていましたし、それはメジャーのバッター相手では打たれちゃうよねっていう投球でした。しかしながら、アベマの放送で解説者を務めていた杉谷拳士さんもおっしゃっていましたが、ナショナルズのジェームズ・ウッド選手はとんでもない選手ですね。綺麗な縦振りから逆方向にホームランが打てるあのスイング、まだ22歳とのことで、これからとんでもない選手になる予感がビンビンする試合でした。派手な活躍を見せてくれる201センチの大型新人選手の活躍にこれから期待していきましょう。明日こそ分かって走 弾みをつけて、楽しい帰りのフライトにしてもらえればと思います。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。